I'm Richard Porter.
I'm Jonny Smith.
And this is Smith & Sniff, a podcast in which two friends talk about cars live at Morgan.
Thank you. It's a peacock. There was a peacock in the audience.
There was a peacock.
A peacock. Who peacocked? Was it you?
Oh.
It's really good. Could you do it again? Oh, that is really good.
Canny, isn't it?
Good, isn't it? I bet Morgan owners have peacocks instead of dogs.
Your peacock
Dogs are too predictable. Have a peacock.
Your peacocks, I think, got an automatic transmission. That's a manual peacock. Yours is a bit slurry. That was crisp. You went,
I've got a lazy talk converter peacock.
Did we talk on the podcast before about I once saw a Nissan GTR for sale on Auto Trader, and it said various things. Obviously, it had been stage 4 tuned or something. Because
I think I know where this is going. I think you just remembered.
It said peacock damage to paintwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had, and they'd taken a photo, and it had been pecked, because I think peacocks see their own reflection, and because they're a bit thick, they assume it's another peacock, and they attack it.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
This GTR had been attacked by a peacock.
Yeah.
Which I think is the most upper-class excuse for car damage possible, surely.
It's not a very skyline-y thing to have.
Yeah.
Wrong with it?
Hit by polo ball, possibly.
Yeah.
Sat on by the Duke of Westchester. It's weird it's a GTR. You'd think it would be, I don't know, like a Subaru Legacy Outback.
Yeah.
It smells of Labradors.
Yeah.
You get Labrador scratches on paintwork.
Hence price.
Hence price, yeah. But peacock damage to Nissan GTR. Oi, oi! Very confusing mixture of things.
Look, guys, listen. The saga is this. We've got history with this room. We did our very first live podcast here at Morgan, off of the Morgan Hills, not the Morgan Hills, the Malvern Hills. They could be called the Morgan Hills. and that was 3 years ago.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, it's quite a well-known date, not because it was our first gig live, but because the Queen passed away. So that was the 8th of September. So we're hoping that tonight... We're just hoping that tonight nothing happens like that.
Yeah.
Obviously not exactly like that.
If anyone's got a number for Charles, Morgan or King,
yeah,
then just check in. Just make sure they're okay.
Any monarchs listening?
It was a weird day because they'd said the Queen is unwell in that sort of knowing way.
Yeah.
And I was driving here, and I remember thinking, we'll be all right tonight as long as the Queen doesn't die.
Yeah.
What now? And we had an emergency meeting in the car park.
We did,
we got here. And
there's no protocol for that.
No.
Not when you're as unprofessional as us. But luckily we were with professionals from Morgan.
Yeah.
So
the grown-ups helped us out. But I seem to remember we'd prepared, for the first and only time on these live shows, we'd prepared a sort of comedy intro reel, which was just sort of pictures of Sade and static engines. Cut to, I can't remember what the music was. Marillion maybe or something.
It was Marillion.
And we decided that was disrespectful.
We pulled the pin on it. It's never been used.
No, I might still have it somewhere.
I don't know if we've still got it. We should have.
We decided that coming on stage and talking bollocks, that was okay. It's what she would have wanted.
Yeah.
But Marillion over a slow montage of idiotic things.
Stationary engines, it was.
That was treason.
Yeah. But it was good. And can't bloody believe that we're still doing it 3 years later.
No, I know.
Stupid.
No one's more disappointed than we are. But, but here we are. Sorry, that sounded ungrateful.
It's not true. Thank you to all of you for coming. No, honestly, it's amazing. It's wonderful.
It's not so much disappointment. It's just the feeling that by now we should have got better. And somehow no.
Well, you say that, but I mean, before we started recording, you were talking about having an emergency poo on a train.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I've got a poo story.
Oh, no.
I think I'll probably just save it for while we're recording. And here we are.
No.
I don't think it's as good as yours. So on the way here today, for the purposes of the listeners who didn't come tonight, I came in the Eagle Quest. Yeah, thank you. That was good. Yeah, no. Totally unprompted. And Richard came in his shoe-size Honda, which is also...
Oh, thanks.
Yes. And they're both sitting majestically outside. One's in a glass box, one's out on the street.
Well, because the Eagle wouldn't fit in the glass showcase
would not
thing
fit
at the front
in the
of the
box.
Morgan Visitor Centre, and the Beat would fit in with room for a male voice choir, 6 elephants, because it's only we. We got here a bit earlier and we were standing outside chatting to some of you guys who got here early, and I was asked several times, how do you fit in that car?
It is a thing of... it's a David Copperfield spec effect.
It's not. That's the thing. The answer is perfectly. It's absolutely fine. It took me an hour and a half to get here.
Oh, I thought you meant it took you an hour and a half to get
It took me an hour and a half. Yeah, well, because I had to go back in the house and get more goose fat, and then...
Do you carry tyre levers with you?
Yeah, I do. And the talc as well. It takes quite a lot of talc. You know that outfit that Jennifer Lopez wore at the Grand Prix the other week?
Very talky.
Yeah, she obviously had to be talked into. That's me in the Beat. It's fine, honestly. It's really. I mean, I'm 6'3", and the car is 6'3", pretty much. But I fit fine. It's amazing, but it's true. And I drove up here, and it's an hour and a half, and I got out, and I could walk and stand up straight, and it's fine. I know it looks ridiculous, and I probably look ridiculous. I realise I've never seen myself driving it, and I probably don't want to. But I'm having a nice old time in there, so it's. I'm glad that I fit. But then we went out this afternoon. We got here and we went out in the Morgan Super 3, the three-wheeler.
We did.
And when I got into it, it felt like getting into a Rolls-Royce Phantom because it was so spacious compared to being in my Honda.
But the thing is with you, Rich, is Richards have not one but 2 helpings of Roadster face today.
Yes.
You've driven all the way up here in a Roadster with getting Roadster face.
Yep.
And then when we got here, you got in the three-wheeler and got more Roadster.
Oh, my God. The three-wheeler's like Roadster Face Plus. It's got no windscreen.
No.
So my teeth were so gritted that it looked like I was having a seizure. Maybe that's why those... So we were driving through the outskirts of Malvern, and there were these teenagers at a bus stop, and they all started sort of shouting at us.
Oh, yeah.
But through the rush of the wind... and the clenching of the teeth and the Roadster face, we couldn't really hear what they were saying. So we sort of waved cheerily at them. And it's only then we went, maybe they were shouting pedo or something. Yes! Ha-ha!
I did actually wave back, and then I thought, I hope they're not saying that. Because that would be bad. Yeah, hi. It's me, your local paedophile. No, that's not. Not. But I did think to myself, maybe it's not Roadster face when you're driving a Morgan. Maybe it's something different.
Oh.
It's the Malvern edition.
Oh.
I think it's Morgan Grin.
Ah.
Because you have a sort of gritted grin face.
Yeah.
That's not quite Roadster face. It's more regal, I feel.
Oh, okay.
But we haven't perfected it yet.
Like the way that Prince Charles... He's not Prince, he's King Charles now. Like the dog.
King Charles.
He sort of holds his lips very level.
Yes. That's
Morgan Road.
It's Morgan Grin.
Yeah. Morgan Green.
Grin.
Oh, Morgan Grin.
Morgan Grin.
Morgan Green. I think
there is a Morgan face, and it occurred to me driving up here today, and I will come on to the poo story.
Oh, please do.
It's not a face associated with that. Please don't get these stories mixed. There was a lady that used to walk around our village when I was a kid, and you might know somebody like this. She was an older lady, and she used to have a permanent, surprised smile on her face, like she'd been lightly electrocuted. But it was always nice to see. And I actually thought to myself, that's a Morgan face.
Okay.
That's driving around in one of these, doesn't matter what speed, you don't give a shit what other people think, and that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
And you've got the Morgan Grin.
Yeah. But then you're going to get flies in you.
You might, although that's got a windscreen.
That's got a windscreen, so you're all right. Okay.
And that 3 that we were in, the Super 3, has that yellow tinted little sort of demi-visor. I don't know what you call them. There will be a corporate name for it. What's the corporate name for it? Fly screen? Fly
screen, okay.
But it's because it's tinted yellow. I think it was yellow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It reminded me of Pro-Am carp fisherman glasses.
Oh.
You know, the ones where you can see below the surface of the lake.
Is that why they wear them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you never tried a pair on?
No.
Oh, wow. Like 3 girlfriends ago, her dad took me fishing once and he insisted that I put some special carp glasses on. He went, have a look at that water, now try. And he put the glasses on me and I saw like 8 fish about that big. It was like fucking magic.
Do you measure the passage of time in girlfriends?
A little.
Okay. I was just asking.
I don't remember
Never heard you do that
years.
before. I thought that those aero screens, I didn't think of carp fisherman glasses. I just thought they're the colour of the sunglasses lens worn by somebody who goes to sex parties. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, I totally forgot. I was in the traffic on the A1 last week. Really bad traffic going up to the Black Cat roundabout. This will mean nothing to people that aren't from the UK. But I had to creep really slowly past that swingers club.
Oh.
That's members only. You can't just walk in. And
God knows I've tried.
I don't think. Yeah, the one that we've talked about many moons ago on this.
I guarantee all the people in there are wearing sunglasses with lenses the colour of those.
Do you think?
Because also, then you can just go straight to your carp fishing contest after you've had a little bit of with his wife. Maybe that's what the yellowness of the lens allows you to see clearly 8 massive other wives that you wouldn't have spotted otherwise, same as your experience with a fish.
What? Is that what it allows you to do?
I think we've drifted away from whatever we were talking about.
Well, anyway, I was going very slowly past the Vanilla Alternative, definitely membership only club. Car parks full of cars. It was obviously a busy night. They were all on display.
What cars?
A lot of Cayennes, and that's not a lie.
Seriously?
A lot of Cayennes.
Wow.
Yeah, but mostly first gen.
Ooh.
The really ugly
That
ones.
says something.
Really,
I don't
really
know
ugly.
what.
It's a sad frog-faced car, really, isn't it?
Yeah. They're quite cheap though, aren't they?
They're cheap, and they're a bit naughty, it seems.
There we go. I thought you were going to say a lot of Qashqais.
No, I didn't. No, I mean, I didn't have that long to look, but I didn't want to make too much eye contact with the area. Not that there was stuff going on in the car park, but, you know. But yeah, there was a lot of early Cayennes.
Interesting.
Dirty Cayennes.
Going to reflect on that.
Yeah. Do.
Yeah. White, clean Cayenne.
While,
They had leather seats as standard. I'm just saying.
So while we were out going around in the Super 3 Morgan a few hours ago, it's got a very interesting indicator sound. I'm all about indicator sounds.
Yes.
Cars. I don't know why.
No, but it's a good one and it's unique, isn't it? I've never heard anything like it.
And it's loud because I guess you've got no roof or anything, so you need it to be relatively loud. Which is good because I remember the last Caterham I drove, I don't think it had a sound. So I used to just leave it on for ages because I don't think it cancelled.
Yes.
So I was one of those people for about 15 minutes.
Like the skip lorry that I followed for about 5 miles, constantly indicating right, and then without warning, he turned left into a driveway.
No!
Yeah.
Oh, his stalk is trashed. And he hasn't been to the Vanilla Alternative on the A1. Yeah. So, but I think I know what this indicator noise is of.
Go on.
I think it is the hammering of an artisan in the workshop. It actually sounds like someone hammering.
They've sampled craftsmanship.
I think they've sampled artisans. Artisans?
Artisanal indicator noise.
Artisanal indicator noises.
Like this.
It really is good. I'm down with it.
I like that car, by the way, in case you care. It was really good fun, wasn't it? Sort of zooming about with flies in your roadster teeth. I've got roadster hair as well, because I went and got my hair cut.
Show the people at the back your roadster hair.
Can you see my hair? It's on top of my head.
They can't. You know, stand up and show them.
Just in
show
case
them
you were
your
wondering.
roadster.
Where, Rich? Where? No, I got my hair cut short, entirely because I own a roadster. Because I was a bit like, oh, the weather's turned nice. And I can't be doing with your hair going all kind of Einstein-y.
Yeah.
I want to be able to turn up at a business meeting and still look half respectable, even though I've driven there in my tiny car with the roof down. But what I realised on the way here, I glanced in the glass of the front of here when I arrived, and I realised that what actually has happened is, even though my hair's quite short, somehow the eddies of air around the interior on my beat had given me racist hair.
What?
Because I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of racists have very neat side-parted hair.
What?
They do. Look, have a look.
What do you mean? Have a look where?
Next time you see some racists on the TV, you know what I mean? Like
Next time.
Like either National Fronty type people, they used to be. What are they now? They were Britain First or something. Or in America, they're sort of those kind of far-right
Yeah.
pricks.
Yeah.
They often have quite short but very parted hair, and it's neat.
Racist.
And I was a bit like, oh no, my beat has given me racist hair. It's going to have to wear a hat in future because I don't want to be mistaken for a racist. I have to go, no, but I've got a Japanese car, for fuck's sake. What do you think?
But that's the sign.
That's the thing, isn't it?
That's the OG racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come over here, taking our jobs. Oh, you got a nice Kia there.
Yeah.
John. Yeah. It's a great car, that. Really like it. Yeah, but totally glosses over that.
Yeah. No, I always think someone who is sort of slightly too keen to tell you how proud they are to be British always has a Peugeot 3008. Always. And I don't know why, but it's probably because they're shit. But anyway, speaking as we were of the Eagle Quest.
Yes, not racists.
Not racist.
No.
That's not a racist car. But
no.
earlier this week, I was lobbying Jonny very hard for us to buy a second official podcast car.
Truth.
Because I thought it was sort of up our street in a strange kind of way. And you're not so down with this.
I'm medium down with it, but I've been training myself over the last month or so to not acquire more cars.
Yes.
To put more time and effort into the things that you already have. Yes, and cherish those things. And I know the Eagle has got a couple of things that I'd like to do to it to take it to the next level, ladies and gents.
To let it soar.
To make it ready for Festival of the Unexceptional.
Well, this is one of the things that attracted me to this car, is that it is Festival of the Unexceptional. Absolute catnip, I would say, in its own strange kind of way. Because it's from 1999, so it's eligible.
Is it summer body ready?
It is.
Whatever the frig that
it is. It's bikini ready.
Okay.
It's got 99,000 miles on it. I think it's pretty good.
Sweet.
It's metallic red with a cloth interior. It's got power steering, electric windows, central locking, CD, etc., etc.
Does it say etc.?
It says CD, etc., etc.
Oh, okay.
2 owners since new. 2 owners. It's a 26-year-old car. It's only got 2 owners. It has a documented history and all of its old MOTs.
I thought you were going to say all of its old owners. Both of the previous old owners are with it.
It's still good friends with all of its ex-girlfriends. It's MOTs until April next year with no advisories. And it's becoming, and I'm reading from...
No advisories?
No advice.
I didn't know this. You didn't tell me that.
Well, I just sent you the ad.
Yeah, I was busy.
It's becoming, and this is what the ad says, it's becoming a very rare car now. And it is only £3,690 with 2 exclamation marks.
Really?
I'd probably bargain them down from the exclamation marks, but... So, 3,690.
Each exclamation mark's worth 500 quid.
Okay.
Off.
And it is a Toyota Previa. Imagine cruising.
Imagine.
No. Who said no?
It's
The side cladding, you'll notice, the plastic cladding down the bottom of the door has gone a bit milky, but only on the back door, not the front one for some reason, which annoys me. But I thought you could probably rub some mayonnaise on that or something and it'll sort it out.
Oh, sesame oil.
Oh, is it? I thought it was mayonnaise.
No, not mayonnaise, Richard. I don't think it's mayonnaise.
That's why my car keeps getting attacked by seagulls.
Or peacocks.
Or peacocks.
You could rub goose fat on it, but I've never tried
I
it.
don't know why. Perhaps it's because I have a very cramped Japanese car. I have this strange yearning for a very spacious Japanese car that's also mid-engined. And that means a Toyota Previa. But I sent this to Jonny and you were a bit like, yeah.
Look, don't get me wrong, I think it's quite cool. But when you've got the Eagle, why do you need a Prev? beg the question. That bastard out there is 8-seater.
The Prev's 8 seats.
Eh?
The Prev's 8 seats.
Is it?
Yeah.
Bollocks.
2-3-3, classic formation. And it's, you know, so I can go, so how many mid-engine rear-wheel drive cars do you own, Rich? And I go, 2.
Both Japanese.
They're both red, and they go, oh, you got 2 Ferraris? No. I have a Honda Beat and a Toyota Previa.
I think
All the bases covered.
we can let the audience decide if that's what you want.
I'm not trying to bully you into it because
As long as you don't detail it with mayonnaise, because that just sounds absolutely disgusting.
All right, salad cream. We'll start with salad cream.
Salad cream.
Oh no, Rich has rubbed condiments on our car again. Oh no, I'm not trying to bully you because the thing is, you're normally very easy to win over with buying cars.
I'm normally the one that sends you the cat.
I know, and I have to go, yeah, okay, whatever. Like when I do with my children, they go, Daddy, can we get a horse? And I'll go, no.
I've sent you some terrible stuff.
Yeah.
Appalling.
You're always sending me like really sort of manky camper vans that look like had a crime committed in them. And I think if I went, yes, let's get it, you'd be so shocked.
I would. That 6-wheeled Sierra.
Oh, God.
It was very kidnappy. Very. Even I flicked through the images and saw the interior and went, yeah, that's going to need a big refit. I don't think I'm not going in that. I'm not going in that.
Yeah, there's not enough mayonnaise in the world to clean that one up.
No. But can I just say, before you decide on the Prev, I'm just going to walk off stage a second.
Okay.
Over to this door.
Right.
And get the key fob out of my pocket.
Oh.
Of my car. Our car, sorry. Hang on. I don't know if this is a fire door.
The best way to find out if it's a fire door is, of course, to open it.
My friend, on the key fob, I've got a Funfair ghost train Siren that we've recently had attached to it. Don't worry about the fact that it's got a severely worn ball joint. That can come later. I've got a ghost train Siren fitted to the Eagle Quest, which makes it even better.
What? Does it only trigger off the key fob, or have you got a button inside?
No, I decided to just go with pure key fob.
Have you used it on the road yet?
Yeah.
Have you?
I have, yeah. I did. I used it going into the services where I had a poo earlier.
Oh, God.
I'll talk about that now. So anyway, pulled into some services earlier. Which one was it? Rugby.
Oh, okay.
And it's not massively relevant, apart from the fact it's got fantastic EV charging facilities, which isn't relevant because I'm in a straight 6 senator. But needed a toilet, went to the toilet, went into the cubicle with my rucksack on because I don't like my car getting robbed in the car park, so I took my laptop with me. Sensible. Went into the cubicle, turned around, and where a hook would have been in a previous life, something had been unceremoniously torn off the wall.
Oh.
There was nowhere to hang the rucksack.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, has anybody been for a number 2 before with a rucksack on? because that's what had to happen today. Okay. It didn't feel right. I will be the first one to admit that. But I was left... There's no way I'm putting the rucksack on the floor of a public toilet. Not a chance.
Well, was there enough space between your back and the wall for your rucksack to fit in? Or?
No, not really.
Did you have to sit?
And it kept triggering the flush. Let's just say it wasn't the greatest experience that I've had, all right? But
did you at any point consider going for the old reverso and sitting the wrong way round? No?
Has anybody done that before? Nobody's done that. Has anybody done that? No.
Oh, there's a hand gone up in the back. Just... You had to do it in your wedding dress.
You had to, what would you call that? Not side saddle.
No, it is. It's reverse. It's the reverse. It's the reverse.
Wow. But I didn't have a wedding dress on. I had a rucksack. Not quite as nice, I would say.
I can't...
So it was awkward.
I'm sure that somebody I know told me that they habitually sit the reverse way around on the loo, because then they can rest a book on the cistern.
Oh, come on. You're like my friend that I used to work with. He used to eat Alpen while he was having the toilet.
Alpen?
That's just another level of wrong. Any cereal, any food stuff in the lab, that's just wrong. And you bloody know it.
I know, but it's the specificity of Alpen.
Yeah. I was disgusted, and he just looked at me and he went, "It's got to go in, it's got to go out. I'm just speeding the process."
You can do some things in life sequentially.
Yes.
Not simultaneously.
He's the guy that took me out for the night once with his other friend who has to take all his clothes off before going to the toilet properly. And we went to a pub and he did all of that.
What?
Yeah. I told you about this ages ago.
I think you might have done. And then does he but if he's in a pub,
he doesn't care where he is.
Crams all the clothes into a rucksack and then puts it on his back.
No, he threw them all over the cubicle and hung them on the cubicle, like when you go into swimming baths or something.
But then someone could steal your trousers.
He did not care.
It's so time consuming.
I know this. I can't tell you all the details, but his nickname is Chrysalis. Anyway. It's a complicated...
Yeah, no, I don't want to know. I'm still picking the bones out.
I wasn't expecting to talk about him tonight. But anyway, so I'm in the cubicle. I exit the cubicle, and there's a commotion. There's a commotion in the other cubicles. There's probably 10 cubicles, and I'm in the M1. It turns out there's a family of 4, I think a dad, maybe a grandpa, and 2 boys. They're all in separate cubicles, and they're all pretty much shouting at one another.
What?
To either hurry up or who's finished.
Oh, my
or
God.
Having a full commentary and basically poo drag racing. And then one came smashing out of the cubicle and went, "Oh," he checked and he went, "I've won, I'm out. It's basically shit drag racing with your own family. What's that all about?" And they were really vocal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well.
So I wasn't expecting any of that.
Family that defecates together celebrates together. Yeah. It's not a saying, is it?
All you need to know is that my rucksack never touched the ground.
That's
very pleased about that.
Quite skilled.
Yes.
But also quite odd.
Yes.
I think I'd have just let my laptop get robbed from the car.
Nah.
I felt weird enough because I had a rucksack and my car hasn't really got a massive boot and it's full of spare interior trim pieces, which came with the car, and I keep forgetting to take out. And so I had a rucksack just in the passenger footwell, and I filled it with petrol, couldn't be bothered to put the roof up because that's just silly. So I took the rucksack into the petrol station with me. But that felt strange. It looked like I was moving in somehow because the guy could see me from the thing going... He's putting his rucksack on. Where's he going?
I don't think that's weird.
What's he doing?
That's not weird.
Is that not weird? I just felt weird. That's just on me.
It says no helmets on the... You're not allowed to wear helmets.
Please don't put your rucksack on.
Yeah.
If you're going into the bathroom.
Definitely don't wear it while you're going for a plop. That's what it says.
I'm quarter of a mind to try that just to see how weird it feels.
What, the rucksack?
Yeah. But I'm also...
I think you should all try it, ladies.
Fully of a mind to move on to something else because this feels like down a conversational cul-de-sac.
We're dwelling. We ought not.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Actually, you don't really use hand car washes? Like, those ones you drive in and people...
No.
You morally object to them?
I don't. I like to touch my own machine. And actually, some people who came to the this live show tonight at Morgan came here earlier to go for the Morgan factory tour, which I highly recommend. And some of you, put your hands up if you might have seen someone that looked like me washing a car. Yeah, probably about half of you. Because I went round the back and I'd run out of time, frankly, to clean the Eagle Quest before we came here, because we're that professional on this show. And I emailed ahead and said to Morgan, "Don't suppose you've got a pressure washer, have you? I need to just give the Eagle a quick hose down," not a euphemism. And they went, yeah, we can let you do that around the back of near one of the assembly areas. Yeah, and in the middle of the tour, I was busy soaping the limo down, and then all the people on the tour were just walking by basically going, "The fuck are you doing with that?"
In fairness, though, because I went to see what Jonny was up to with the pressure washer, and I got there and I looked at the pressure washer. This was not just some bog standard bought from Argos thing.
No.
This was a diesel-powered pressure washer. I'm not joking. I've never seen such a thing. It was a Karcher, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was industrial level.
But you could turn it up. It had a heat control
Yeah.
and a pressure control.
Yeah, it got boost control.
You could render a horse with this thing. It is incredible. But I've never seen a man more visibly cheerful / aroused than Johnny Smith using a full pro-spec pressure washer. It was the real deal, that.
Well, I used to brush my teeth a lot listening to Iron Maiden. Well, I haven't done it for some months now. In fact, I don't think I've done it this year.
Oh.
Yeah, I've decided to just change it up a bit.
But you messaged me this week or last week and admitted that you'd listened to Childhood's End by Marillion 3 times that week.
Yes.
And asked me how many times I'd listened to it. And weirdly, the answer was 0. But that's not a given, because sometimes I do listen to it and it's weird. It's like Pringles or crack, that song. You can't just do it once. You have to go, that was pretty good.
It's so...
I think I'll go back for more. I can't explain why. It's a good song.
I'd actually written in my notes tonight, we must mention our guilty secret about listening to Marillion. Because, Marillion admission. How many times have you listened to Childhood's End this week?
So you were on 3. 3 this week or 3 last week?
I'm on 3 this week. Yeah.
After you said...
It's actually a really good song, because ages ago, many podcasts ago, we were convinced that there was only one good Marillion song, and now we subsequently know...
There are 2.
There's 2. It's true, there's 2.
Yeah, Childhood's End and Kaylee.
Yeah.
Because I listened to the whole album that track's on, thinking, well, this is good, so the rest of it must be good. And it's sort of all right, but it's not. Childhood's End stands head and shoulders.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's a 3 times a week kind of song.
And you know, take the piss out of something to the point where you start to really like it. Is that like Stockholm Syndrome, in a way?
Stock Aitken and Waterman syndrome. Bloody hate Kylie Minogue, and then you put it on.
I feel like we've got to that point with it.
Yeah.
You mention Marillion at the end of almost every podcast that we do.
No. I feel like this is just going to end up with both of us being in Marillion somehow. And the rest of Marillion going, told you.
Yeah.
It gets you.
Got such magnetism.
Yes. Oh, but no, the Morgan factory tour, because then I was watching you pressure washing an Eagle, and one of the chaps from Morgan went, if you've got 10 minutes, I can show you around the factory really quickly. I went, brilliant. But then I walked past, I guess some of you guys, on one of the tours, and I had this sudden sense of everyone sort of going, too good for the regular tour, is he? Prick.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I only had 10 minutes, so I had the sort of whistle-stop tour. It was still very fascinating. I learned some amazing things.
It's a fantastic tour.
All that woodwork. Did you see the Midsummers? People do the tour. Did you do the Midsummers in build and how they do the wood that surrounds the cockpit on those? And it's layers of laminate built up, because it would be impossible to achieve that with like carving it from block and wood. And in fact, the wood maestro, the guy who does the laminating,
they've got a wooden maestro over there.
Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah.
Seriously.
Yes, and
is it even more impressive than the Midsummer?
And a balsa wood Montego as well. It's incredible. No, they actually, funny enough, the guy who designed the maestro was called Ian Beach.
Is he?
It's just a little tree connection there. The other thing I learned, apart from the laminating of the wood and the fact that you couldn't do it from a solid block, and that's why it's so beautiful and sculpted and everything like that, is that I think we were talking on the podcast about that BMW gear selector. It's in the Supersport, it's here, it's in all of the automatic Morgans now. And yeah, it's a homologation thing. I had it confirmed from the horse's mouth. It's just...
From the Morgan's mouth?
From the Morgan horse mouth, wooden mouth of the horse.
From Marillion's mouth?
Yeah. But they do still offer, this is the reason I was going to bring this up, is they do still, and this is a common thing across all the car industry, it's why Ferrari don't do manual gearboxes anymore, and why, Jaguar put a manual in the F-Type, and I think it was less than 5% of people ordered it, and they went, we just completely wasted our time there then, didn't we? Thanks everyone for going, you've got to make manuals or not proper cars.
Yeah.
And then nobody buys them.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Morgans. What? Oh, it was rubbish.
I never actually got to drive that car, but I did hear that it was cack.
Yeah, it wasn't brilliant.
But it's going to be extremely rare, isn't it, already?
Yeah.
But maybe nobody does cack.
Yeah. But it's the same with Morgan. So about 10% of people order the manual in the +4.
Right.
Which is, you think Morgan, very sort of analogy kind of car.
Yeah.
But no, the uptake is small. So that's why they just put an auto in the Supersport, because that's what the market wants.
It's a good box as well.
I know that's not funny. I just thought it was quite an interesting fact. So,
It's a fine box.
it's one of the things that I learned on my very quick, too good to join the crowd factory tour. Tell me 2 interesting things and then I'm leaving.
Well, the industrial pressure washer that I was using, it has quite a large exhaust. In fact, it has a significantly bigger exhaust than the Eagle Quest, I noticed while I was blasting around the back of the car. But you've got to be so careful with those high-end ones, because if you whack the dial up and the temperature up, you can take all the paint off a car. They're a bit sort of heavy plant spec when you get high up in the dial.
But that might look quite cool.
What, no paint on the car?
Yeah. Like an old sort of 1930s aeroplane or something. Because I saw there was a super sport in build in the factory and I looked round on my own because I got a private tour. And it was just in the raw aluminium and I thought it looked absolutely brilliant. It did look like sort of like an old aeroplane or something. Yeah. It was brilliant, a brilliant sort of effect. You can have, and they're doing, there's a +3, if you saw there's a +3 in there that got, the nose of it was mostly covered in protective film, but underneath it's just pure polished metal.
Saucy.
Yeah, well, saucy / fingerprinty, I'd imagine. / go and get the mayonnaise, we're going to have to clean this up. But apparently you can have the whole body, if you want, of one of the 4-wheel cars as well. And I was told that there's a Morgan dealer in Santa Monica in California who has a car that's just all polished, shiny aluminium in one of the sunniest places on earth.
That would be dangerous.
That is, you know where they go, don't look directly at an eclipse.
Yeah.
Don't look directly at that Morgan during daylight hours. You can only drive it at night, presumably, and even then if it's not a full moon.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
But you can do it. It's just that obviously it's a bit, hard to maintain, I would say.
Yeah. But like those Beverly Hills spec wheels used to be able to get on Mercedes, was it? Or Rolls Royces?
I think both.
Wet look chrome.
Yes.
The wet look colour, which last about 1.5 winters over here, so nobody ordered them. They just get eaten. But over there, they look right.
What I was going to say before about hand car washes, which I know you don't like, does anyone here take their car to you just drive through and some people just give you yes.
I'm not here to judge. Although I can, because we're up here and we've got the mics.
You start standing up and going scum at people who... It probably explains why no one's put their hand up except Emma down the front here. But I was a bit disappointed. I thought maybe more people would join in because I was going to share an observation which will now fall completely flat on its arse. Because I do take my car to a hand car wash sometimes. I wouldn't take the Honda, but because you can just wash that with a flannel in about 2 seconds flat. But
you couldn't you? Like one of those old school standing up washes over a basin.
Yeah,
that people of a certain age do instead of just getting in the bloody shower. Just do what I understand.
I just bring it in the house and dip it in the kitchen sink. It's fine with all the plates, but or put it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
But I'd take other cars to the hand car wash. But obviously, no one's going to relate to this at all. But I find going to the hand car wash an incredibly stressful experience because I like to think that I am a good driver and I can place my car precisely. But those quite aggressive Eastern European blokes who tend to run hand car washes around my neck of the woods, they always make you feel like you're an absolute moron behind the wheel. Stop! I am stopping. No, forward. And you're like, I can't do it anymore. No, turn. And there's one that's like in an old petrol station. You could properly scrape your car if you messed it up. But they're always like, no, and then they're doing sort of hand signals like those blokes at airports trying to get planes to dock or whatever they do. And I get really clammy.
You could have just washed this at home.
Well,
I could stand on your drive and shout at you while you do it. That's what you'd like.
But as we've established, I have a very slanted driveway.
Yeah.
And it like you can't put a bucket down.
Really? Is that slanty?
If you put it down on the wrong bit of the drive, and I have done this, it slides away. Maybe that's what that Oasis song was about.
You need one of those bows of wood that goes behind over your shoulders and you carry 2 milk churns. Because any discerning car washer has a twin bucket method, as you know.
Oh, they do, don't they?
You've got to go for the double dip.
Why do they...
It's cleanliness. It's all about cleanliness.
Yeah. One of the reasons I don't tend to wash cars at home as well is because my children like to help. Bless them. My daughter particularly, very enthusiastic helper, but she is the opposite of the 2 bucket method. She is the drop the sponge on a gravelly bit of ground and then just pick it up and carry on with my paintwork.
Oh, you bastard.
And obviously I don't want to tell her off because she doesn't know any better, but it does test the limits of... I do a bit of roadster face, actually, because she'll go, look, Daddy, I'm cleaning it. And I'm like, yes, you are.
Is it roadster
Going
face?
down, it's a bit, yeah. No, it's patient dad face, which is a cousin of roadster face.
I actually got out of the Super 3 this afternoon, and I felt like, because we're both tall, so when we were sitting in it, half of me is away from the fly screen, the other half is safe. The upper half, which is probably eyebrows up, which was exposed, in my head, I felt a little bit like I had a constant David Beckham expression on my face, where you sort of frown and look at the middle distance a lot, even if you don't want to. And you're not going to talk about anything profound. You've just got that look on your face constantly. And I realised that was the result of driving that car with the fly screen, with the carp fisherman sunglasses tint.
Just remember the other thing that happened when we were driving that car. We were having a high old time. I drove it out there. We went a certain distance. We stopped. We swapped over. Johnny started driving, and we're driving. So I'm in the passenger seat, roadster facing it, and we could see someone on the pavement sort of coming towards us. We were on a B road, and Johnny just went, wave at that guy. Just wave like you know him. And so as we got close to him, I just went, and you could see his brain going, don't know what to do there. But then reflexively, he just went, hi. Like that.
It's the best game. It's the best game.
But then you said, I'll do the next one. Then you didn't.
No, I didn't. You're absolutely right. I was going to.
And Malvern's not a very big town, really. And that car's quite distinctive.
Yes.
And I suddenly thought, but what if that guy was in fact absolutely outraged by being tricked into waving at a stranger? And then he sees that car tomorrow being test driven by a Morgan potential customer, and he goes over and punches them in the head while there are traffic lights. If that does happen, Morgan people, I apologise. It was Johnny's fault. He told me to wave at a stranger for fun.
No. Lawnmowers. It's the season, isn't it? There's a lot of fast growing going on right now.
Yes, there is.
In the UK, bit of sun, bit of warmth here
Yeah.
and there. You know those zero steer lawnmowers? They zero turn steer? I don't know what they call them. Is it
Zero steer, aren't they? Is that what they're called?
Basically, they can just spin rather than actually normally turn conventionally. Anyway, they're popular with local councils now. Council. But instead of having steering wheels, they've got 2 handles, haven't they? Like a tank.
Oh, yes.
Like so.
Yeah.
And you have a little roll hoop above your head.
Yeah.
My question's this.
What's the biggest dog you've ever seen?
Driving one of those zero steer mowers, usually on the verge when people are driving by, is it possible to look cool or comfortable? Because I haven't found... I saw a guy the other day doing it with his handles going like so, and he looked like he was in prison and he was never going to get out.
Ah.
He really didn't look right. He was mowing well, but it didn't look right.
Well, so we were talking before we came on, because you may not believe this, but when we're not on stage or doing the podcast, Johnny and I still talk absolute shit to each other. And we were talking about Imran Khan, the former... Does that amuse you, Smith? Talking about Imran Khan, former Prime Minister of Pakistan, and how suave he is.
I totally forgot that we had that
Compiling a short list of the suavest men on earth.
Oh, yeah.
Nigel Havers, obviously.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Do you think any of those 3 could achieve coolness on a zero-steer mower
Oh my gosh.
if they suddenly got a job for the municipal council?
Imran Khan on a zero steer mower, completely white linen, as you know. Even though... And so loose-fitting that it could definitely get caught in the gears and suddenly Imran Khan is completely naked, like having the tablecloth pulled away from you by a magician. He's gone, Could have sworn I got dressed to go to work this morning. Yeah, well, I'm going to just mow my way through this.
That's the thing. I think he'd style it out.
He would totally style it out.
We were compiling a short list of humiliating situations that we believe Imran Khan could style out, and indeed, onlooking people, men and women, would find themselves feeling a bit funny and attracted to him, even as he, for example, ran into a glass door in a hotel. Or slipped over in a Londis, grabbed a shelf and pulled a load of tins of soup onto himself.
I know what...
And that would happen, and you'd go round, you'd go, bloody hell, and then you'd look over and your wife would be going, oh, it's Imran Khan.
I think...
Oh, he looks like a clot, but he's so suave, he's got away with it.
Imran Khan's the only person walking the earth who could go into a motorcycle dealer, buy a high-powered motorbike, let's say a Fireblade, having never really ridden a motorbike, but he just happens to have a licence, and just doesn't get the clutch right when he pulls out of the dealership. And completely slithers it across the road, low sides, and then falls over in front of a load of people.
Just like low sides it into a Mazda 6.
Yes. He's the only person that could just get up and almost convince people that they hadn't really seen what they'd seen. Like a David Copperfield thing.
Do you think other people collecting their new motorbikes would just be trying to copy him?
Yeah.
Even you're a very experienced rider, just go, do you know what? I'm going to absolutely luzz it into the side of that medium-sized Mazda because he looks so cool. There's some... I feel like... Is that
a royal ringtone?
Dam Busters? What was that? Okay. We'll do the long stories. You can tell us afterwards. Do you think Imran Khan or Piers Morgan... Piers Morgan? Not him.
No, not Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
He couldn't do that.
No.
Brosnan
or Nigel Havers are the only people who've successfully looked suave in a motorway service area. Because I don't know what it is about motorway service areas, they make everybody not good looking.
Yeah.
You never see good looking people in motorway service areas. And we're all there.
I was in one about 4 hours ago. I don't know if you guys know. I was telling you. I think not.
Imran Khan on the loo with a rucksack on. That's the move that breaks him.
Yeah. And
his suavity evaporates.
And somebody goes rushing in and really aggressively tries all the doors because they're not in a good way. And the first door they manage to smash open, Imran Khan's on the seat.
With a rucksack on. With all his cricket gear in it. So there's a bat sticking out the top as well.
Huge. And Imran's doing what needs to be done there, but he's cool with it. He just looks up and raises one eyebrow quite a lot higher than the other one.
Yeah.
Mouth stays completely straight. And we all go, and another person peers round to look who's just washing their hands or Mitsubishi jet toweling or whatever they're doing and goes, he looks fucking cool on the toilet.
I think that's the bit that he'd finally lose it. The suaveness has gone, and Brosnan's there going, "I've got you at last, Khan." It's either that, but then what happens is later that day, Brosnan gets on a train, has to go for a poo, and the electric door slowly opens while he's in the middle of it, and that's it. He's out the game as well. There's only Havers left. Havers has got the suave game to himself.
I know what he does.
What?
He has to still style out and look really cool when he's trying to reverse a car into a tight spot. If you're late to a hotel and there's only one space left and it's not really the right size space for your car, we've all been there. And he backs it in a little bit hot and he hits one of those huge stone ornamental planters.
Yes.
That drops off its plinth.
Oh, no.
But Havers has to make sure that no one either cares or they feel like the whole situation is quite desirable in some way. But what's he in?
XJS convertible.
Wow, that was quick, wasn't it?
He's the suavest man alive. What else is he going to be driving?
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Because I think you'd be tempted
just bought it off Brian May.
Yes.
And Brian May said, right, if you come and pick it up at 10 a.m., I'll be round tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
The plugs and the oil, yeah.
Because I think that it's going to need plugs, points, condenser.
I like Brian May's ritual servicing routines. However, I would not buy a car off Brian May because I think it would be like buying a car off a St. Bernard or an Irish Wolfhound. The amount of hair stuck to the upholstery. You'd be in there with the hand vac, wrapping gaffer round the opposite way around your hand and doing that patty thing you can do to get hair off stuff. Or get one of those lint rollers.
Oh, yeah.
That those dodgy Nottingham knocker blokes always seem to sell.
Yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't buy a car
Still
for Brian
can't,
May?
but Brian May, no. Between him and Anita Dobson, also got very crackly, dry, but long hair. You might as well buy a car off.
You know what?
Golden
Between the
Retrievers.
two of those,
it's just a nightmare.
they could set up a carbon fibre company. It would actually be basically their pubic thickets. Turned into motorsport weight.
Well, now hang on.
Composite panels.
We established earlier on that there's some incredible craftsmanship goes on in this very factory here with wood laminate being layered.
Yes.
To incredible effect.
Yes.
What about layering Brian May and Anita Dobson's wiry hairs into some kind of incredible upholstery?
Upholstery. Okay.
Maybe a little scratchy, but perhaps you could rub some conditioner on it periodically just to soften it off.
Or in your words, mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah. Come to Richard's Detailing Emporium, where I'm going to liberally smear mayonnaise.
Yeah, hello. My headlights seem to have gone a little bit milky on this 90s Primera. What do you suggest? Ooh, I think Daddy's sauce. Just open. I've got a whole rack of condiments.
That's just going to be brilliant.
I swear someone told me that you rub mayonnaise on plastics and it brings them back.
Is this true, anybody?
Anyone heard this?
Or is this total bobbins?
No, it's total bobbins.
It's total bobbins, and you bloody...
Mind you, no one here goes to a hand car wash, so it's like I'm starting to think that people are just not saying anything because they don't want to shout scum at them or something. Yeah, I've heard the mayonnaise thing. Shut up! Don't encourage him.
Did you know that... You know, we have a second podcast called... what's it called again?
On the Other Side of Things.
Yeah, that one. Autoset. I actually saw there's a product for sale right now that got served up to me by the algorithm, bastard, called Autoset.
What?
O-T-O-S-E-T. Do you know what it is?
I don't know. I can't even begin to imagine.
It just appeared last night when I was looking at things on the internet.
Beard oil. No more mayonnaise for me.
Not that far away.
Oh.
It's an earwax removal irrigation headphone apparatus.
What?
I'm not making this shit up. Why would I? It's far too complex. So imagine it's a pair of earphones that are like goldfish bowls.
Yeah.
And they inject water into the ear from the upper portion.
Yeah.
The lower portion is where the dirty water then comes out. And it's called an Autoset.
I thought you were going to say they inject water into one ear and it comes out the other. I think these Autoset people have been watching too many cartoons. I'm not sure that's how the human body works.
Seriously.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I can't, because the word irrigation for me is just like, that's how, they grow crops in some countries.
Well, not in some. I mean, quite like here.
No, not here, but it's always you hear irrigation. Oh, irrigation! Look, they're irrigating the.
Well, if the ground is dry, Richard, I know, but must irrigate.
Irrigation, in the sense of your ears, suggests that they're going to sort of plant some maize inside your head. Same with colonic irrigation. You're always like, how are you going to get the combine harvester up there? It's like.
Awful.
I have to do a little ref back to, was it last week? It was last week. We were talking about the Careless Whisper video.
Oh, yeah.
And
is there ever going to be a podcast that goes by
where we don't
talk about A, Marillion, B, George Michael, the big hair era,
yes,
and C, there's always something, Jaguars, old Jags.
Doing a lot of...
Basically, we're getting repetitive and shit. It's the word on the street.
Well, so anyway, George Michael's is has a second car. There's a Corvette in the Careless Whisper video, for anyone who didn't hear it. And then there's another mystery car, which you only see the open door of and the back wheel and a leggy lady getting out of it, just her legs. We assume the rest of the lady was above that, but it's out of shot. And we thought maybe it was a Celica, but then I think it's an RX-7. We've had lots of people write in and say, yes, it's an RX-7.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who pointed out that, in fact, there is an extended cut of the video with a longer version of the song where you see the RX-7 driving away at the end.
Do you?
Yeah, so we've had a visual on the RX-7.
I've never heard the extended version.
No, I hadn't either. I mean, apparently it's on YouTube and I didn't get a chance to look it up. But we had an email from a listener who calls themselves Sticky.
Who?
Sticky.
Sticky?
Sign themselves Sticky.
They need a bit of mayonnaise on that,
mate. So he said he had a boring journey along the M62, and inspired by this week's pod ramblings, he's rewritten Careless Whisper.
What?
From the perspective of a Mazda RX-7 owner.
Really?
Yeah, I won't read the whole thing out because it's quite long. But it goes, I feel so unsure as I take your keys and turn your engine over. As the motor dies, smoke gets in my eyes and calls to mind a garage quote, and oh, it's a hefty price. I'm never going to drive again. Your wankle rotor's got no tips in. It's not easy to pretend.
No.
The smoke's a giveaway. I should have known better than to trust a friend and waste the cash that I'd been given. So I'm never going to drive again the way I wanted to.
Oh, my gosh. So it was...
Yes, that does deserve a round of applause.
So, essentially...
Thank you, Sticky.
The whole song is about wankle sorrow.
It is now.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Someone did write in and suggest that it actually was a Celica lady in a Celica, but they'd got bored of trying to find the right tyre sizes and maybe fitted RX-7 alloys to the Celica because there was some on local Gumtree and they just picked them up. And that's why we all got foxed by going, is that an RX-7 or a Celica?
Okay. Quite elaborate way.
It was very elaborate, but that's why we like the letters, Rich.
Yeah, no, it's true. Sorry, I don't want to keep harking back to roadster face and driving cars with no roof on, but I don't know if anyone here has got a car with a soft top or retractable hard top.
Anybody?
Hey,
quite a few.
Show of, I like the way you went, no, I want hands this time. I would like, and I'd like you to join in helping me with this, to develop an internationally recognised hand gesture that you can give to other soft top owners who haven't got their roofs down on a nice day. Because it really winds me up. And part of it is that feeling of going, I'm putting the work in here. Look at my face. It's exceedingly dry and my teeth are so gritted. You just buy the hard top.
I think you need to take both hands off the steering wheel, so that's sort of illegal, I think. You need to do the expression that David Bowie's got. Is it the cover of Changes Bowie?
Yeah.
Where he does this.
Okay.
He's sort of, one hand's pointing at his own forehead.
Yeah.
The other hand's pointing at the sky.
But they're both very flat-handed, aren't they?
Very flat-handed, like
flat-handed.
a puppet that can't really make fists or anything.
Or that he's just come out of a Tom Cruise run.
Oh, yes. Yes. It's almost a Changes Bowie face.
Yeah. No, okay.
Would that work?
It might do if I'm not required to do any steering at the same time.
You need a large wheel and a good knee.
Yeah. But, yes. I don't know. I don't know if I'm alone in this, but it frustrates me because you kind of go, it's beautiful out here.
Yeah.
I've got wasps in my hair, my teeth are gritted, my face is extremely cracked, and I'm having a great time. And you, with your mini cabrio, not putting the work in. But your roof's electric. You could do it in 10 seconds.
Worse than that, though, Rich, is when people have got the roof down, slow speed, so say a town, 30 mile an hour, but they've got all the windows up, and it makes the car look shit. And in my head, that's what I keep saying. Your car looks shit like that. You really ought to put the windows down.
I see your windows up, and I raise you something like a 3 Series convertible. The front windows are down, but the back ones.
Oh, no. No.
That's practically a hate crime.
No. That's like accidental flies down and a bit of skin is out. That's what that is, isn't it? There's a bit of gristle there, and they don't even know it. How do they not know that there's gristle out? Yeah, I said it.
Taking it in a certain direction, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't like the glass up. It looks awful.
Well, actually, I
motorway speed though.
discovered in my car that at speed on an A road, the windows up makes it a lot less buffety. Mm-hmm. I mean, it still gave me racist hair, but it's just a sort of comfort point of view.
Roadster face, racist hair. You started writing lyrics for a silly song that's going to...
It feels like it might be that, yes. But anyway, at what age do you become slightly...
Interested in zero steer mowers?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's been some years now.
I know what I was going to say. Sorry, scratch that other thing I said just then.
Yeah.
When you were talking about not looking cool on a zero steer, so obviously the roadster face is zero steer face. Something else I've noticed recently.
Yeah.
Grenadier face.
Oh.
We know the Ineos Grenadier.
Yeah.
You see them around quite a bit now. And I'm always fascinated when I see one because I'm kind of like, who's bought this? You know, they're quite expensive. But I could see that, you know, they have a certain appeal. I've never driven one, but, you know.
They're good. I like them. They've got a gear stick, much like this Morgan next.
Yes, which, as we now know, is for safety and homologation reasons. Homologation reasons. Too expensive to change.
Yeah.
Same for Ineos, a relatively low-volume car maker. But that's not why I bring them up. I always look at people in Grenadiers just to see, you know, who is this person who's bought this Grenadier. I think they're the most miserable-looking people on earth. And I'm starting to wonder if there's like a sort of mass case of buyer's remorse or something.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, have a look at Grenadier. Is there anyone here got a Grenadier?
No one.
You can say something. Johnny won't call you a knob or anything.
No, because I like the Grenadier. I thought the Grenadier's cool.
Have a look. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just because miserable Bob, who lives on the next street to me, has got a Grenadier. No, there's something about them where people always look gloomy driving Grenadiers. And it's like, is it the car or is it just coincidence? But Grenadier face is a bit...
Grenadier face?
Yeah. What was that town or village we went through today?
Hanley Swan. We took photos, don't you worry about that. I may have gone up the verge a little bit to get the correct angle for the photo.
Still wasn't the correct angle, though. I looked back at the photos. The framing is very weird. But anyway, that's by the by.
Does anyone from Morgan live in Hanley Swan? But it is only over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dead close.
I couldn't work out if Hanley Swan is part of the Wendon Zambo universe. And if so, what role does he play? But then, what did you decide that Hanley Swan is?
I think Hanley Swan is a manoeuvre in cards for really accomplished card gamblers, players. And if you play the Hanley Swan move, you're like, shit. Very few people know how to carry that off. This one's done that. And professional gambling's a big business, Rich.
Yeah.
If somebody comes at you with a Hanley Swan, you are doomed.
I'm starting to worry that the Hanley Swan is something that goes on in that club by the A1.
I also noticed that Hanley Swan as a village is actually really long and thin. It went on for much longer than we expected, but there wasn't much girth to the village. It wasn't a girthy village, was it?
No, it was very long and thin.
We kept going, well, where's the width to this Hanley Swan?
Because we went past the sign and went, Hanley Swan, we should take a picture of that. And we went, oh, it's okay, we'll do it on the way out. We'll get it on the other side. There'll be another sign. And then we drove for what felt like about 10 miles.
I know.
And then there was a sign.
Yeah.
Hanley Swan, the thinnest village in Britain. I feel like we've been going on for ages, and I'm sure it feels that way to you too. So we should probably wrap this up. But
we didn't even talk about the new Yugo.
The new Yugo?
Yeah, Yugo is returned, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Yeah, there was a coup somewhere down the front. An old Yugo. Well, do you remember what old Yugos look like?
Yeah.
Yes, they were shit.
Yes.
The new Yugo actually looks really cool.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, you don't come to this podcast for news, so that's
No,
I'll
or
just
car
leave it
talk.
there.
Heaven forfend.
Just bloody Google it and find out for yourselves. Yeah.
Anyway, before we finish this, 3 things to tell you. The first one is Jonny is engaged in a very disturbing project this week to slice the former lead singer of Marillion into tiny, tiny bits and then throw them all in the Atlantic, except for a small portion of his thumb, which he's going to keep showing to people while saying there's plenty more fish in the sea. Thanks.
This gets worse and worse and worse and worse. There will be people who listen to this who still don't really know what this is about.
I've had the Morgan people make me a new barrel because I scraped the bottom out of the last one with these. If that's not your taste, then there's always the Late Break Show. Lots of excellent videos on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there are.
There's some videos.
Go and watch them. Second thing I want to say is a massive thank you to everyone from Morgan for having us here and for making us feel so welcome.
Yeah. Can we give them a round of applause?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Thank you to Lisa, who mans our merch store and generally keeps us in line. And a massive thank you to all of you for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it. It's nice to see you all. Hopefully this hasn't been too traumatic so far.
Well, they've come out to a really nice car factory to listen to 2 pricks talking about Marillion incessantly.
Again.
And George Michael's hair again. And some Jaguar references again. But we haven't talked about Imran Khan for maybe ever. And we haven't talked about zero steer mowers for quite some time. So
there you go. You
know.
So it's a mixed bag.
Hey. Yeah.
And the third thing I want to tell you is we're here in Malvern, but Malvern, the name Malvern, comes from the Old Welsh for bald hill.
Bald?
Bald.
Does it?
I don't know why. I got distracted and forgot to research the rest of this. But anyway, that's where Malvern comes from.
Do you know Malvern's the first place I ever ate a lime pickle in an Indian restaurant? I wish I was making this up, but it's actually true.
Shock you.
I was going through a low patch, and when I first started out as a journalist, and my publisher we were at an event, and he said, we'll all go for dinner at the local curry house, which was great. I didn't really know what the lime pickles were. I was, 18-year-old lad. Oh, I didn't have it. I was actually still a virgin. And so we were in the Indian restaurant, and he said, see that in the jar, in the bowl there? I went, yeah, because we were absolutely Dysoning the poppadoms because we were hungry. He said, if you eat all of that, I'll give you 20 quid. I was so poor. I went, yep. And I just did it. And I scooped it up and whacked it in so fast that then there's just fury waved through me. I was quite an unwell man. But I did get 20 quid out of it.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
And that's my first memory of Malvern. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Not as good as hoisin sauce on the hands at Goodwood.
That's still one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen.
Close second.
Not the hoisin sauce per se, but then people coming up to you and going, hey, Jonny Smith, Late Break Show, can I shake your hand? And you having to go, no, it's got hoisin sauce on it. And it was 9 in the morning.
It was 9 in the morning.
Very confusing situation.
Really awful breakfast choice. Bloody awful.
Anyway, that is quite enough of this, but we'll be back doing it all again soon. Until then, goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you had a thought. Is there a way here today that you could show support? Well, you could join our Patreon. What wonders that it brings. Early shows and extra notes on that side of things. You could buy our merchandise. We've mugs and hats, but still no ties. One day we will make those pies, but in the meantime, guys, hey guys, like and subscribe, and maybe leave a nice review. Like and subscribe, we know you know just what to do. Like and subscribe, we don't want to take the piss. Like and subscribe, but we were told to ask for this. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
And I had to do the single worst thing in the world. I had to have a poo on a train. So, not feeling 100%.
Train